despise not our prayers and our necessities, but deliver us from all dangers, forever glorious and blessed Virgin. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.
St. Thomas Aquinas,
Pray for us.
St. John Paul II,
Pray for us.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Recently, just very recently, you would have seen, heard, or perhaps read on social media of at least one priest quitting from the priesthood from the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda. What could be the problem? An almost unheard of phenomenon that is seemingly becoming the order of the day. However, it could be hasty to say. One priest living out of 1,000 should not make one generalize that priests are leaving the priesthood. But all the same, one is still a figure and of importance. For if Christ could leave 99 sheep in search of one, it just tells us how precious as a number one is. For who knows that one or two have left, there could be others nursing the same thought, but God forbid. The need, therefore, to look into the matter. Is the problem the priest? Have they missed their focus and goal while they became priests and are now carried away by the lures of this world? Is the problem the seminary formation? Is the problem the priesthood? Or is the problem the administration? This is what characterized deliberations today, Saturday, August 19, day 3 of BAPEC. Chairing today's session was the president of BAPEC, His Grace Archbishop Andrew Nkea. The bishops looked at major seminaries, St. John Paul II Major Seminary, Batuantai, and St. Thomas Aquinas Major Seminary, Stams, Bambui. The bishops paid close attention on the formation process and the products of the seminaries. Pastores Dabo Vobis, PDV, paragraph 69, says the greatest formation is auto-formation. This means, despite what is taught and said, if the seminarian does not as a person interiorize what is said and taught, no one would form him for himself. The seminarian must be convinced of what is good for him and for our Holy Mother, the Church. And what about the seminarians who are expelled? Are the numbers increasing? Are the rules of the seminary too stringent? Or are the seminarians unformable? There has been the old age problem of seminarians lying low, that is, pretending and not revealing their true selves till after ordination for fear of being expelled. No wonder the same good seminarian, or seemingly so it seemed, cannot be recognized after being ordained a priest. But a few cases should not make us think the picture is all blurred. There are thousands of good priests out there burning out their lives for the salvation of souls, and the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda has holy pride for such products, priests from her seminaries. The Christians too can tell you and make a clear distinction, one priest from another, trained in Bambui or not. From their fruits, you shall know them. Reporting for Radio Evangelium News, Diocese of Kumba, I am Father Blessed Amba Njume, anchoring from the BAPEC grounds in Kumba.
More expensive to keep seminarians in the seminary, and we have to look at how well our Christians are collaborating in this matter of formation. And I think I want to register the gratitude of all the bishops of this province to our Christians throughout the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda for the generous donations they have been doing towards the formation of our seminarians. The seminary collections have just been wonderful, and we are very, very thankful to the people. The last point is the adaptation of seminary formation to the times. We are now within an Android generation, a generation where anybody addresses the world from his bedroom. And it is important for us to see how our formation of our candidates for priesthood is relevant to the society of today. And this is a very, very big point of reflection for us. And with the guidance of the Holy Spirit, we are going to give some more directives for the next formation year.
Thank you very much.
My Lord, you have once been rector in the major seminary, St. Thomas Aquinas, Stams, Bambui, and now you are bishop. How can you evaluate formation back in your days as rector and currently?
It's a bit complicated to evaluate, because when I go back to the days when I was also a seminarian and being formed, and our disposition towards formation and our formators at that time, and then compare with my time as a formator and the seminarians at that time, and then comparing the seminarians of today. I cannot compare with the formators because I have not experienced them. I see a very, very big change, and it seems like as the cultures are perhaps changing, not cultures but mentality, and the times, they are talking of Android generation. It looks as if it's also like influencing the seminarians, and their disposition towards formation is very different. Docility as seminarians, our obedience, our readiness to do and just follow what we're told to do was really the order of the day in our time. But I remember during my time now as formator, after giving a conference, I just give an example, explaining things to the seminarians, how formation is to be done. And one put up his hand and asked me, why are we not doing this year? And one suggested we could also do exchange formation and send some seminarians from Bambui, perhaps to Europe or America. Then I said, those are two different cultures. We are forming you for a particular culture. We are forming you to meet people whom you work with different mentalities and culture. But the bottom line, as I keep repeating, whether you are comparing or what, you know that is the same Jesus Christ, yesterday, today, and forever. The priesthood does not change. The ideals are there, but it's the mentality and the inclination of those to be formed. Like today, from the reports we are getting, very often you see the seminarians today want that their formation should be according to their own terms. They have their own priesthood, they are put in a frame. If it does not suit what they want, then the formators or even the bishops are out of place, they are out of time, and their time has gone. And we have to, if we don't hold them strong and keep to the mind of the church, then we are looking for a boomerang in future. And that's the situation we're having. And I think the society, which I also want, the lay faithful have a lot to do to in formation. Because at times some will say, no, these boys, you are not taking good care of them. You need to do this. Look at the shoes this one is wearing. His clothes, he has only 2 trousers. They have to practice poverty. Christ himself led a poor life. He created the world. He has everything. He's the one giving us, but he chose poverty.
Yes, Father, there is this worry about seminarians being expelled from the seminary, and it has remained a very great worry. What is your take when a seminarian is asked to leave the seminary?
When you use the word being expelled from the seminary, unfortunately, it often sounds so negative. It's as if somebody is a bad person, so he has been chased away. But that is not it. A better terminology would actually be advised to withdraw, or being advised to consider some other vocation in life. See, the point again is becoming a priest is not what is needed for salvation, as all of us know, you see. But it is a special calling, and there are parameters. The church has given us issues to look for those who feel they are called. And so we have to examine the candidate in the light of these documents given to us by the church, and if we discover that the person falls short to some degree, of course that's why we have to sit together as a staff, having consulted other seminarians and even the lay faithful to discover that perhaps this is not his place, and we tell him in a very polite manner and fatherly manner, gentleman, we think this is not your place, you may go and rethink and consider a different vocation. That should not be negative. And anybody coming into the seminary should not come with the intention, I must be a priest at all costs. No. And it is that feeling that makes seminarians who leave the seminary to be so negative, because I was supposed to be a priest. Even when you do things which are very evident and are seen that this does not square with the life of one who really wants to become a priest, and then we politely tell the person, please think of some other life. So being sent out of the seminary is not anything bad, it's not evil, it's not a crime. It is simply that we, having journeyed with you, talked with you, and prayed about it, and be enlightened by the Holy Spirit, we think you could consider a different vocation in life. And that is why so many who were so bitter at the start, they end up being so positive and grateful to God for the fact that they were asked to leave the seminary and take up a different vocation in life. Thank you.